All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Monday, November 16th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, guys. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. We have class on the horizon. Class coming up later on today. Phase 1, Lesson 2. We'll be talking all about order types, what's a market order, what a limit order is, the similarities, the differences. And of course, how we can look to place them out there in the market. So great to see all of us, though. Pat, Donnie, Broderick, Chuck, Gene, Debbie, great to see you all live inside the trading room, loud and clear from all. Perfect. And for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, welcome on back. Dow ended up pulling back a little bit after the market opened up, but then slingshotted right back up to break a new high momentarily. And actually, for right now, I mean, heading into the last, like 2 minutes, you could see here on my chart, I'm going to zoom in here to start. We have FSEL obviously on the big screen here, but over the last 5 or so minutes, the Dow pushing up a little bit. So hopefully we'll have a nice rally heading into the close. But for the meantime, FCEL, we do have class coming up. So we'll just kind of run down our list here. I mean, right away. FCEL we'll just put on our list to begin. FCEL is a stock that we are pretty familiar with off of news, off of earnings or whatnot. This was moving up really just as far as I could see, at least. I don't have any like specific company news. Had a lot of activity in pre-market, although not too much of a trend. But as soon as the market opened, took off. So it was just moving up with all of the other solar stocks, or all the other different EV stocks there at the time too. So this is one of few that we'll just throw on our list here to begin. FCEL, and then another one right away, actually, it's moving right now. We're talking about it inside the live trading room. Blink, BLNK. So Blink's been taken off, I mean, really just across the last 20, 30 minutes here. Took off a little bit after the late morning, pushed up off 1050 up towards 1125. Built a beautiful Fausto flag, more of an elongated one, so it kind of broke off here, but it was building it up beautifully here. And then, of course, once it popped the top, once it broke a new high of the day, it's taken off. So right now, Blink, easy enough for us to just put on our list. Hopefully it maintains this trend, for us to follow heading into the close. So 2 good stocks right away just to begin. And by the way, FCEL, I have to say it. I'm like obligated at this point. It's like my catchphrase here. If it craps out the other way, it is shortable. So, for as good of a trend as FCEL is on, at least we know that we could short that. For those of us with TradeStation, hopefully it is shortable if you have, IB or, Thinkorswim, whatever it may be. But yeah, for right now, I mean, these are looking really strong on the way up, both of them. All right, so what we'll do, just in usual fashion here, we try to do this quicker on class days like today. We'll just go from top to bottom. ATHE, more of a bust. It is kind of pulling back up here a little bit off this like last little dip, I guess, consolidation. Still trading a lot of volume per minute right now. It's trading 104 million shares total across the day. I know it was trading like a couple million per day on average prior, or actually, this number's watered down quite a bit. Look at this. You could see factoring in today, this stock is trading, including today, 2+ million shares. But prior to today, across the last 50 days, it's trading 111,000 shares. So I would say this stock is definitely exhausted, although it is, pushing up a little bit here. I mean, it would be crazy if this runs heading into the close, if I'm wrong. But for a stock trading this much volume after making that pre-market pump up, dumped off, it hasn't really like made that clean of a move up just yet. I'll give it time. Maybe I'll just check back in with this at the very end, just for last licks. But I wouldn't expect too much on it. And if I'm wrong, then God bless. Then we'll be able to call it out hopefully early enough. Norman picking up 11 cents inside our trading room on Space, SPCE. That's on the losers list, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's recovered a little bit. We'll check in with that too, though. Nice catch, Norman, on that Space trade. CBAT has pushed up pretty nicely. So talking about kind of a stock overextending itself and then just trading a lot of volume early on throughout the day or pre-market even, the same to be said on CBAT. It didn't really pop right away once the market opened up. I mean, it popped, but then tanked, consolidated a bit, and then really going into the mid to late morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern time, it broke much higher, more buying coming in from there. And then even right now, I mean, I'm pretty surprised that this stock is getting another run back up here. It certainly reminds me, and we've seen the stock trade before, of course, but it reminds me of like WWR back like a month or two ago, right? Where WWR popped day over day, and then pre-market following morning like exploded, and then like as soon as the market opened up, dumped off. But I mean, it has like similar vibe to it. I don't know. Right now, though, given this trend on the way back up towards 10, it actually popped and dropped 10 just a moment ago. If it could re-break higher from 10, hope to see it hold support, set a tight stop. But for the meantime, I mean, I'll give this a second look. All right, there we go. Quick water break. Rich just posted the link for class coming up later on today, folks. So for all of us inside the trading room, at least. HPR getting a little love here too. A little push off 550 up a buck. I mean, don't underestimate this move. It's a full dollar move actually heading into the afternoon from HPR. Again, same thing as ATHE. It's not trading as much as ATHE, but look at how little volume this stock has traded prior to even today. I mean, I'm assuming a lot less than even 111,000 shares. Right around there. Trading 12 million shares today. We'll check out the float perhaps, but I'll give this a second look also. HPR at the end. So we have 2 on our side list and like 3 on our main list. PPSI. This was actually a shortable stock when this stock ended up going back-to-back days from 3 all the way up towards just about 9, dumped back down, and then the next day popped. And then afterwards, it was hard to borrow. But, this stock today ended up making a nice, step-by-step move up. I mean, beautiful trend off the lows. But then heading into the, more late morning, early afternoon, we had called it out off 380. A lot of buying up towards 4. So from there, pushed up pretty nicely at the time and just, kind of exhausted here to another like energy power stock, so to say, similar to like OPTT, similar to CBAT, SunW, all of them pretty much. WWR, look at this one. So we were talking about this just a second ago, more on the daily side. I should have just stopped myself right there because the stock was holding pretty strong right now on the 1-minute chart. So WWR, and on the flip side, of course, this is where I say as a day trader, I wish I held on to my shares from, I think it was just even Friday of last week. We ended up, seeing the stock squeeze up. It was like 15, 20 cents at the time. It was good for what it was worth. And here right now, obviously, has exploded. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. For right now, this is looking probably like one of our best stocks heading into the afternoon here. So 550 was a strong level from earlier. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, this first top here, I would even say more so. Like 555, 554, pretty strong top here. It popped and dropped to just before. And now at this point, hopefully 550 to 555 could hold as support for this to like break out much higher up towards 6. That would be the hope, at least. Will that happen? Well, hopefully soon. All right. Let's see what else do we have. We'll keep going. Looking pretty good so far, though, folks. FBM looks like a buyout. I'm just gonna jump that. GP was looking pretty interesting. I saw this trend up earlier. I was gonna call it out, and the order book kind of skeeved me out a bit. So it squeezed up probably like 40 or 50 cents from where I was looking at it off 16. At this point now, just not a whole lot going on in terms of the trend. Actually, a bit of a lower high, so maybe it pulls back even more. Chuck picking up 12 cents on Blink. He got in from 12.23 and posted that, about like 4 minutes ago inside the trading room. Saw that a little late there, Chuck. Nice catch. So he said he got in from 12.23. So he just jumped in here, scalped it pretty fast. Perhaps saw the lower highs and good exit. All right. F still on our list. HDS, I think, is flat. This can stock, it was looking pretty interesting from earlier. Fausto called this one out after the market opened up. Didn't really have a whole lot of activity in pre-market. Just really another one like F-Cell that took off as soon as the market opened up. But beautiful trend. More of like a level 2 stock, tight spread, very liquid order book, but it moved up pretty well. Ended up pulling back, as every stock I would expect to at some point, but, it flattened out in a tighter range a bit here. So, kind of just at this point exhausted out. Good stock to keep on your side list. Maybe at some point this will be shortable tomorrow. That'd be pretty interesting. And if it dumps back down, who knows? But for a stock to go up 22+% and to have this type of liquidity on the order book, I'm a fan. So I would write that down. VVPR, as I would nickname Viper. There we go. Pushing up right back up to the highs right now. I was going to say the stock made a nice run for us once again today. As you can see, going back into like even late August, early September ran, going back into early October, gapped up and ran from there, popped in. That was like ultimately a pump and dump. And now today, I mean, same thing, kind of pumping up at least here up towards the highs. It's only trading about 4,000 or 5,000 shares per minute right now. Look at the spread, though. I mean, a very big spread, very illiquid order book, as I would say. I kind of like, I don't know if that's like a real word or not, illiquid, but very empty, scarce order book. I would say that's more of like a level 3 to 4 stock, though. So kind of, comparing apples to oranges here. VVPR more of like a level 3 to 4. We were talking about that stock can. It's not on the list right now for this afternoon. A side list maybe, but that was like more like level 1 to 2 even. This is more 3 to 4. All right, Sun W, IDEX. We got some more names here on the gainer side. We have Ride also. So Ride, we were kind of looking at actually earlier going into this meeting. So Ride ended up squeezing up just before. I do have some news on this one, if I'm not mistaken. I clipped it earlier just for all of us inside the trading room. I'll repost. So Lordstown claims 50,000 pre-orders for its electric pickup truck. That's like from Electric Report. I don't know, like magazine or whatnot. But RIDE ended up making a nice squeeze from earlier today and still kind of holding strong, albeit had just dropped off a little bit from that high 2112. So for the meantime here, if it could end up pulling back a little bit further, maybe we'll find some more support. Otherwise, I mean, we'll see if this can make the pop back up pretty soon. I would say the same thing with this as I'd said with the VVPR, though. More of like a empty, scarce order book. So this Ride trade, at least for right now, I don't mind giving this a second watch going into the afternoon. Where's my cursor? There we go. I want to find something with a more filled in order book, though. You got LI on the list, GameStop. We still got a few more here, folks. We're looking good on the gainer side. What else do we have? We have HT. I want to take my time here at least. On the gainer side, we have class coming up, and pretty soon. But HT ended up squeezing up a little bit more in pre-market, dumped off after. Fossil, this was the one I wanted to look at. I skipped over it. Whoops. Sun W trying to squeeze back up. Fossil ended up running up once again today, back to back to back days. I mean, at least on the daily chart, it reflects that. So, kind of exhausted, but good sideless stock too for anyone like looking for more level 1 to 2 stocks to watch. Wow, NNDM here too. Wow, up 13+%, popping actually right now. Perfect timing. All right, so NNDM, you never know what you're going to stumble upon here. So that's why I said on the gainer side, at least, there's a few more familiar names, stocks that we've seen, make a big breakout before, or stocks that may have, made a push from earlier that still might be strong. So, NNDM, this looks really good. Might have to trim the list down at least once we're done with everything. Jose saying space worth watching at 21. Oof, look at the volume that just came in off 21. More for the volume that just came in. I'm a fan. And it's, at high of the day technically right now. So the news out on space was really, if I'm not mistaken, actually, I don't want to mistake myself. So let me make sure I'm like nice and perfect with this. But we ended up seeing space news. Yeah, they rescheduled a space flight due to COVID-19 restrictions. That's simple enough to say. But nice recovery here. A lot of volume, over 300,000+ shares filled off 21. That means add and over. So yeah, I actually like this one for right now, Jose. Good call. All right, cool. All right, so with that in mind, let's hop over to the losers list. If there's any other familiar names, we'll check them out. Just we'll round them up after. But let's see if there's anything looking just as good, if not better, on this side. Bunch of stuff hard to borrow to begin. That's why we kind of skip over most of that, unless if they're down like really a lot, like this HOFV. But I knew the news out on this once you saw the drop. It was like common stock offer. I don't know what the price was at the time. I know the Fausto had mentioned it earlier. I forgot what the price was. Maybe even one like 140, but just not worth it right now. REZI down 13+%, shortable. Scarce orders on the book. APT, tighter spread. I feel like we have a good list though. Otherwise, like I mean, I could add this APT if I really wanted to. This one I'd probably put on more than the others so far that we jumped over. But yeah, for right now we'll pass. Nothing like drooling over here at this point. RAPT, it is shortable. Down big, just pretty flat here though. Tight range. All right, let me take a quick look on the chat board side here. On the trading room, we have from Paul, we have. Okay, I think he just meant that in the word live in reference to his last sentence before. I see that will catch me at times, Paul. If the word like something a word is like capitalized, a 4-letter word, that's gonna catch me every time. A 3 or 4-letter word like that. That's funny. I wanted to watch it live. He said the SpaceX launch. I think he was referring to. Wendy says INO approaching high of the day. It is. It is up 13+%. So I think there was news out, on INO phase 2 COVID trial. Simple enough. I'll just state. Pretty certain I'm right on that, but INO, yeah, good call. I like this. Put on our list here at this point. Hopefully squeezes up higher heading into the afternoon. A couple of bigger orders on the book to worry about, almost like every 5 cents. So this stock hasn't really gone too crazy for us just yet. I say that in reference to the runs that it's made going back into mid to late March, going back into late June, early July here. So the liquidity on the book is pretty big, pretty filled in, I should say. So for right now, this INO looks really good. I like this call. And from Cliff VXRT, same thing. All of the vaccine stocks at this point pushing up. Check out Sorrento, doing literally nothing right there. COTX. Okay, the only two that I typed in, both down or doing nothing. So good calls from Cliff, good calls from Wendy there on the vaccine stocks, as we'll call it, INO and VXRT. From John, he says ride turning up, pushing up pretty nicely here, back up to 21. All right, I have another like 2 to 3 minutes here. What else do we have? Anything else? Like WKHS maybe just popped over 20. So if this can move up in sympathy with Ride, I think that WKHS, this company owns 10% of Lordstown Motors, or it might be vice versa. Either way, I know they're affiliated. They both ended up running in sympathy with one another back a week ago or two. So with Ride moving up, I was looking out for this pop here off 20. Hopefully there's a lot more left to it, but for right now, I'll kind of keep this on the side as well. ATHE on the side list. This one's kind of perking up towards 3. And then finally, HPR. HPR looks pretty strong given the afternoon move here. This one I have a little bit more hope for compared to ATHE. And if it's one over the other, then we'll be there to call it out, I'm sure. Mike's asking, is Uber at an all-time high? If it is, then it'll probably make the list. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny with the market gapping up or pushing up a little bit higher, over the pre-market this morning. You would figure, when is Uber going to make that breakout, or the all-time high rather? Yeah, I think we're right there, Mike. That's a pretty good call. Just popped and dropped from 50 though. So you know what? Good call. I will add this at the end here. Uber. And we'll just see what it's doing. If it ends up making another higher low, pushing back up towards 50, more buying off and over 50. Hopefully, it could run much higher heading into the afternoon, maybe the post market even. From Greg in the chat board, here we go. This gets my attention right away. And our right is getting a push over that 410 level. Oof, it's music to my ears. There we go. Yep. Is today the day, Greg? Is today the day that we finally see an afternoon run in Riot? I think we saw a mini afternoon move, I think like on Friday, but it wasn't really like, one that we can really be happy with. You know what I mean? Like we've seen stocks like, 50 cents dollar move, that are $4 or $5 stocks like this. So yeah, I mean, right now it's pretty interesting. I'm still very reluctant to like watch it going into the afternoons, but I'm telling you, I know one day I'm going to be wrong on that, of course, just because if Bitcoin keeps moving up and up and up, and if the markets are moving up higher at the same time, I would only imagine Riot to just go with it generally. But with Bitcoin getting closer to all-time highs, it's at 16.8 right now. Whew. We'll be there in no time, hopefully, with Riot. And by the way, Riot earnings are tomorrow afternoon, just for anyone in a swing trade with me on this trade here. So we'll find out a lot more tomorrow afternoon. I'm excited. All right, folks, that'll do. We have a big list heading into the afternoon. So I'm going to count it right now. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 packed out list heading into the afternoon. So I'll post it. I'll post and tweet it right now for all of us inside the trading room, for all of us in social media. And with that in mind, for all of us inside the trading room, any of our Phase 1 students, I'll post and tweet the link coming up shortly afterwards just for class. Phase 1, Lesson 2, we'll be talking about order types once more, market versus limit, just how to use them, what they are, and everything else in between. All right, for all of us in social media, just feel more than free to join us live Monday to Friday inside this live trading room. Otherwise, just make sure that you folks like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu. All right, guys, I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.